Yes, it's Jez here, back with another video. You read the title. It could get worse. Bitcoin is essentially repeating history. We're repeating this fractal that we had earlier this year in January. We had the liquidity grab on the top side, and we're moving towards the lower side of the range right now. So we need to be seeing if we're going to be breaking this 111k support level and moving in towards your 105k support and even lower, or are we going to be holding the support level? What's going to be happening? You need to be staying tuned to the end to be seeing my analysis, as I have a lot of charts prepared for you guys and a lot of different scenarios and data points. We're also going to be covering Ethereum and some altcoins too, so make sure to be staying tuned till the end. But before we get into the analysis, make sure to smash up that like button. Let's try to get above 20 likes this video. That'll be absolutely insane. And with that being said, let's get straight away into this banger. Bow. So as you can tell by the thumbnail of this video, Bitcoin essentially is moving towards the support level of 111k. Now, if we zoom in towards this range, you can see that Bitcoin hasn't quite tested the support, but it's a crucial level. And I'll tell you why it's a crucial level. You can see Bitcoin's had bullish market structure, it's had higher lows, and it's had higher highs also. So if Bitcoin actually breaks this mid-range level, then of course it's going to be changing structure and we're going to be moving towards a downside most likely. So it's very important that Bitcoin actually holds this level and starts to move towards the upside. Even if we get a small liquidity grab, I think it's likely that Bitcoin is still going to move towards the upside. So this is my bias right now. We need to be seeing if we can be holding this level, because if we can't hold this level, then the picture just definitely does change and we are likely to move towards the downside. We can see what happened last time when we violently broke below the range and we closed below the range. Bitcoin followed through and we had a violent move towards the downside after having this double top scenario. So again, it is very important that Bitcoin doesn't repeat history here and we get a shallow dip and then we start to see some bullish absorption. Now at the time of this recording, we have our Jackson Hole Powell speech tomorrow, which is Friday, and essentially every time we had the speech previously, we had a dump. So it is likely that we can get some sort of a dump on some volatility, even if it's hawkish or it's dovish. There's a lot of volatility both to the upside and the downside, as you can see. So that's one thing that we could be looking at. And if that does happen, it is likely that we could get some wicks towards the downside. So if we get some wicks towards the downside testing these previous levels, I think that would be a good opportunity to be taking a long position if we can start to see reclaims and a lot of wicks. And that can potentially be the last point before we start to move towards our all-time high. Now, the reason why I'm still talking about us moving towards the upside is the fact that we have our liquidity chart showing us that the majority of the liquidity is towards the upside. So I've just refreshed it and you can see that the majority is at the 120k mark. So this just shows that the downside liquidity is all been grabbed and the majority is residing above us, and Bitcoin always moves towards the majority of the liquidity. So this is the most likely point where Bitcoin's destined to go. So if we zoom out on the 2-week liquidation heat map, we can see that there's a little bit of liquidity left at 111k in towards 110. So again, if we start to move towards the downside, this is the likely point where we can grab the rest of that downside liquidity before we target that 120k liquidity in and around this level here, and that can add fuel to the fire and we can start to see Bitcoin push towards new all-time highs. Just to reiterate, it's very important that Bitcoin starts to move towards the upside, because if we break this support over here, it's likely that we're going to be seeing Bitcoin play out this rise and wedge pattern. So it's so important that Bitcoin actually holds the support level and we actually start to move towards the upside. So it may be the case where we have our power speech tomorrow, we move a bit deeper into this level, and that's where we start to see Bitcoin rocket towards the upside. Because if that's not the case and we start to break below the support level, it is likely that Bitcoin can, correct a lot further down towards your previous lows. So if you're enjoying the video and you want to be loading up on Bitcoin on this recent dip, make sure to check out our first link down below. That first link down below is for BitTunex, where you can get 20% deposit bonus on anything that you deposit. And as you can see here, if you deposit $2,000, you can get up to $400,000 in future bonuses. So make sure to be clicking that link over here to be registering. Once you scroll down, and you can read the terms and conditions here, and this is a massive opportunity to be using free money to be trading with, in my opinion. So make sure to be checking our first link down below if you want to be getting some free money to be trading and be buying up that dip. I think BitTunex is a great exchange. It's also non-KYC, but make sure to be checking in your region if this meets the regulation rules. But I'll be definitely recommending BitTunex, as you have a massive deposit bonus. You have up until the 19th of September, as I'm having this partnership with BitTunex right now. So through me, you're going to be getting this massive deposit bonus. Of course, this helps support the channel also. So make sure to be checking out our first link down below for BitTunex. Now, as for Ethereum in that short term, you can see that we're testing previous levels of resistance that's now turned into a support. I highlighted this on yesterday's video, and you can see we're exactly getting that bounce. So that's looking quite good. You can see on the higher time frames as well, we're still trading in and around this region over here. So I said it's likely that we can see some consolidation for a few more weeks before we actually start to push in towards new all-time highs. But it all depends on what happens in the next few weeks. So of course, the first stepping stone will be this Jackson Hole event. Will Powell be sending Bitcoin towards the downside or not? We need to be knowing if that's the case, then it's likely we could see a reversal very, very soon. Since the previous years that was the case, that's what happened. So if that's the case for Ethereum, it may be a case where we come and retest the $4,000 level again, and then we start to move towards the upside. So that's what's going to be happening. And you can see that we're perfectly playing out this V-shaped recovery from the 2020 COVID crisis. And in 2025 we had a similar formation where we had the tariff news sending Bitcoin down, and we recovered just in the same fashion, creating this V-shaped structure. And you can see after you break above the neckline, you have some sort of consolidation, and you can see that after that consolidation you have a massive move towards the upside. So at the minute we could see some consolidation in and around this level here before we start to move towards new all-time highs, which is perfectly fine for Ethereum, as it offers you a lot of time to accumulate the dip as we're consolidating. So of course the best place to be doing it is BitTuneX, which is the first link in the description. But aside from that, Ethereum still has this bullish cross on the MACD. You can see that this MACD is cross bullish right now, and Ethereum is looking very, very likely to continue this momentum towards the upside on a higher time frame. So that's looking quite good. And again, your altcoins versus Ethereum is bleeding at the minute, but very soon your altcoins are going to be reversing. So once the altcoins reverse and they start to outperform Ethereum, you're definitely going to see this Bitcoin dominance continue to move towards the downside. We've had a death cross on the Bitcoin dominance in the short term, and that's why you're seeing altcoins have some sort of strength right now. So you're seeing altcoins actually holding up against Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is dipping, your altcoins aren't fully dipping as much as before. This is just showing you that there's a lot of strength within altcoins, and when we start to reverse towards the upside, there's going to be a lot more gains on the table for your altcoins. Now we can see that Solana is actually perfectly playing out this previous factor that we had in 2023 in towards 2024. We had a liquidity grab to the top side. We consolidated in this pattern before moving towards the upside, and that's the exact same thing that's happening right now. So I'm very, very bullish on Solana for that longer term. And of course, looking at XRP, we're in this bullish pennant, so I'm very, very bullish on XRP also. And you can see the total 3 is perfectly repeating history. So this is looking very, very bullish for the price action. If we're going to be seeing rate cuts, if we're going to be seeing positive comments from Powell tomorrow, then 100% you're going to be seeing a reaction in the markets, which could ignite something crazy. You may see your altcoins actually massively move towards the upside, which is why I definitely recommend to be signing up for an exchange and be loading up your funds ready. So whenever I see the signal, whenever I see altcoins starting to fire off towards the upside, I could be letting you guys know straight away on the channel so that you guys can start taking advantage of all the opportunities in the market. You know, for example, XRP is looking quite good. Before it actually moves towards the upside, it needs to actually break out first. It's likely to give a retest if you're lucky, and then it's going to be moving towards the upside. So there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of time to actually be accumulating the dip right now. So I think that this is a great opportunity in the market. So make sure to be having your accounts ready. Make sure to be signing up using that first link in the description. But yeah, that'll be it for me. Make sure to be following me on X to be staying up to date with all my relevant updates, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace guys. See ya. Bye bye.